What is up, you guys? Welcome back to our channel. So I wanted to film this fun little video today because we haven't done something like this yet, and it's just me because Taylor probably wouldn't remember half these things or even know the answer to a lot of these things. So I was like, I'll just film it. But I wanted to share like things about our wedding day that you may not know, things that might have went wrong that you would never know about, being on the other side, a lot of details about like dresses I wore, outfits, because I got so many messages about things and I just could not get back to everyone. And there's been a few outfit details and accessories that I've kept secret and haven't told anyone or shared, and I'm gonna share them in this video. So you're about to get all the details about the wedding day and everything. Okay, so we'll start with outfits, dresses, accessories, things like that. Okay, so my big ball gown, whatever you wanna call it, wedding dress is from Stella York. It didn't originally have the bow or anything on it. It was just the strapless dress by itself. We added the bow to the back. I added the gloves and the big cathedral veil, which I loved. And a little secret about the gloves. Take your guess where they're from. I'll give you a second. They're from Amazon. So that is one thing I have never shared because I was like, everyone's gonna laugh so hard. But they had, they were so nice. They were on Amazon, maybe like 20 bucks. I'm not even gonna lie to you though, my wedding gloves. They matched the material of the wedding dress so well because my dress was kind of like matte. It wasn't matte, but it wasn't shiny either. And it was also like this ivory white color. And so it was hard to match the whites, but these matched perfectly. And funny story, since I wore gloves at the ceremony, my rings wouldn't fit over the gloves. So we cut a little slit right here in the glove. And when it was time to put the rings on, I just went and picked the thing up. He slipped my ring on and then I put it back over. And I actually didn't wear my engagement ring at all during the ceremony because the glove wouldn't fit well on the diamond. So I had no ring on under my glove. Pulled this up, he put my band on, and then I put the glove back on. Yeah, and so I was super slick about it. So yeah, I also didn't want to spend so much money on gloves just to cut a little hole in them. So, and I wanted to have like a backup pair if something went wrong. So I ended up ordering like another pair off Amazon. Y'all, it's the way to go. There's a lot of DIY things about your wedding, or there's a lot of things you can do and save money on and no one will ever notice. And then the dress that I wore at the reception, so I actually kept my wedding dress on for a lot of the reception, but I ended up changing like for the exit and for the last little bit of the reception. It was a custom made dress, but what happened was I had gone to a wedding dress store and tried on this dress that I was like, it's beautiful. It looked just like the dress that I wore for the exit. And I was like, it's so beautiful, really expensive though. And I was like, I don't want to pay so much money just for the exit dress, you know, because I didn't wear it for that long, but I just loved the low back. I'll put a picture here of what that looked like. So pretty, in my opinion. I loved it. But anyways, so if you like something like that, or if there's a dress you find that you like and you know someone who can make it for cheaper, because you know they just mark dresses up if they're considered wedding dress. Like, so I got it made for, I think I got it made, it was like lower than half the price. And so just, if you know someone who makes dresses, just show them a picture and they can mock it up for you and make the exact same thing. Okay, my earrings, y'all. A lot of y'all are probably gonna tap off the video after this because this seems like the only question I ever gotten about the wedding is, where'd you get your earrings from? Where'd you get your earrings from? And I had no idea that people were going to think anything of my earrings. Honestly, I was not focused on it. I picked my earrings, I think the week of the wedding. I obviously wanted them to look good. Like I wanted everything to look good together, but I was more focused on like all the big things. I know a lot of people are like jewelry people. I'm not really a jewelry person. Like I don't even have really jewelry on right now. So I was like, I knew I wanted something pearls, and my mom had actually ordered a bunch of earrings off of Amazon for herself, trying to choose what to wear with her dress, and she ended up having some options that she ended up not going with, and I was like, hey, I like those, and I put them on, and I put them on with the wedding dress. I ended up just wearing them for my bridal portraits that I took like a month before the wedding because I was like, oh, if I like them, I'll wear them. And I ended up loving what it looked like in my bridal portraits, and so I wore those for the wedding day. Y'all, they were like $10 off Amazon, my wedding earrings. So that's like the biggest question ever. I've never shared where I got them from because for a while I was like, man, I cannot tell everyone that I got my wedding earrings off Amazon. But hey, everyone liked them, and so why not share the secret? Go get your wedding earrings off Amazon. No one will know and everyone will ask you where you got them from and love them. So things like that, I one of my friends is getting married and I'm like, there's so many things that you can get away with getting so cheap and no one will notice. You know, like put your money more into the things that you will be able to tell, like, oh, is that from Amazon or not? But some things you'll never know. So there's that answer. My robe that I wore the morning of, my mom actually gifted it to me for Christmas, which was right after me and Taylor got engaged and we were planning for the wedding, and she gave it to me at Christmas and I ended up wearing it for the wedding. I'm pretty sure she got it off of like Etsy. There's robes like that everywhere though. If you just look up big like satin white bridal robe, I'm sure you can find it anywhere, but I'm pretty sure she just got it off like Etsy. And then I think that's all for jewelry. If I wore any other jewelry on, I know I changed my jewelry for the end of the night, the exit, but I just got that from like a bridal store around here. They were just like teardrop diamond earrings. And then the night before I just wore like, I think I wore earrings from a boutique. They were just like bigger, chunky earrings. I wore, I had this special ring on the night before that my mom gave me. I'm gonna go get it. So it's actually so cool because it has blue in it, which is actually my birthstone, but you will not believe what this ring is. So not the blue diamond, but the rest of it was my mom's, I believe it was her engagement ring, and she had a diamond right here in the center. It was her engagement ring that my dad proposed to her with, and then she took her diamond out, put this one in, and said she was gonna give it to me right before I got married, and she took the diamond that's in here and put it on another band, and she's gonna give it to my sister, I think, right when she's getting married. So anyway, she still has her diamond, she just has it on a different band and she likes it better. It's like more simple for her rather than having multiple. And so anyways, I wore this on the night of the rehearsal dinner, which is just so sweet. And I know you're supposed to do your something blue on your wedding day, which I did have that also, which I'll share in a second, but I wore this on the rehearsal dinner night. So my something blue, I wore my garters underneath my wedding dress, and my grandma actually gave me this, my great grandma, she gave me this necklace that had blue stones in it, and we took it off and we hung one on the garter, and so it was underneath my dress because I didn't know how to incorporate, you know, I didn't wear like a necklace or anything. So I put it on my garter, and then another special thing I had on my garter was my mom, she took a little bow that she had on her wedding dress and she took it off her dress and put it on my garter. So there was just a lot of sweet little things that we had that are so special that I feel like no one else would ever know about, so that's why I'm sharing. Okay, so I think that covers it for most of the outfit things. If you have any other questions, just comment them. I'll try to get back to them. These are just things I could think about. So now I'm gonna move on to random things that you may just not know, literally just random things. So on the morning of the wedding, we woke up at 4 a.m. to head to the venue. Like, we planned that. We planned to wake up at 4 a.m. to head to the venue. Because where we were staying, it was like a bed and breakfast. It was like an hour-ish away from the venue, and we had to start, it's a good thing we started at that time because we had no extra time by the time the ceremony started. So my poor bridesmaids, mom, sister, everyone, but they all pushed through and it was fun. It made the day last longer and it was still the fastest day of my life. Something you may not know is that I wore slippers for walking down the aisle and the wedding day. I'm gonna put a picture here if I can find one of there's pictures of us at the reception, like they're throwing us up in the air and you can see my slipper poking out. Like literal ballet looking slippers because I didn't want to be uncomfortable. I was gonna go barefoot but they were like, oh, you're gonna walk on grass, you need some slippers. So I wore slippers. I got so hot from pictures that I almost passed out. So this was after the ceremony when Taylor and I took our pictures. I was so hot. I was drinking water, people were bringing me waters. And it's so funny because we got married in March. We were worried about it being like cold, if not not freezing. But the temperature is just so hard to predict around here. It was crazy because it just so happened to be the hottest day we had had that whole year. I mean, it was only March, and it wasn't even hot, but we just weren't expecting it. And so of course I was sweating, I was nervous, I was tired, and I was just hot. And so homegirl almost, I mean, I didn't really get to, I didn't even sit down. I was just like, all right, we gotta wrap these pictures up and get moving into the reception and eat because I'm hot. But we got some great pictures and it was fine. The night before was so stormy, people's flights got delayed. So it's so funny because the day of the wedding was beautiful. We were actually nervous about rain, but the night before, it was actually, I love it. It set the scene, it was just fun. But our friends were some of our friends were flying in and coming straight to the rehearsal dinner. Some of them were late because everyone's flights were getting delayed. There were so many weather warnings and it was stormy and windy. If you watch our rehearsal dinner video that we have on YouTube, you might be able to tell a little bit. It was just so, I kind of liked it, the clouds, but it made everyone nervous because we were like, oh gosh, it's gonna be wet tomorrow. It might be rainy tomorrow, but it's crazy. It went from stormy rehearsal dinner night to perfectly sunny wedding day. So I just thought I'd share that. Something you may not know is that Taylor bawled the entire day of the wedding and at the rehearsal dinner. I don't know how much of it is shown in that YouTube video, but at the rehearsal dinner, y'all, is when Taylor broke down. Like, leading up to the wedding, he was all just chill, and then the rehearsal dinner, he broke down. He couldn't even speak. It was the sweetest thing ever. And then the wedding day, he cried the whole day. Like, when we did our first touch, obviously the first time I had to talk to him, and he was already crying, and he was like, yeah, I've been crying all day. You're so cute. And then he cried the rest of the day, but that's just adorable. Had to talk about that. Okay, and last thing you may not know, when we did our exit at the end of the night, we had someone driving us like in this car, and we were just sitting up on the back, and we weren't actually taking that car with us to the hotel we were driving to that night, because the hotel we were driving to was like an hour away, and then we had to go to the airport the next day and leave. So we weren't gonna take that car. That was someone's, you know, that let us use it for the wedding. And so we drove, our driver, like we waved at everyone, and we drove down, and down a little bit down the driveway or whatever was the groom suite, and we hopped out the car at the groom suite, and we had like a little moment, like away from everyone, and we were like, oh, it's over, yada yada yada, and we had all that. And so everyone started leaving. No one could see us, like it was far enough away, but everyone started leaving, and so we kind of just stayed down there and hung out at the groom suite until like a bunch of people left, and then we actually went back up to the venue. And I actually love that we did this. Like, I don't think I would have wanted to just drive off and leave. I know that probably sounds silly to some people, but I went back and like was able to like just take a breather and like see my family, see some friends, like close friends who were still there, and just kind of like be like, wow, that was, you know, just talk about it a little bit. And then like I packed up the rest of my stuff, and then we like were able to say bye a little bit more to like close people, you know, like family, and then leave in Taylor's truck. And so that's just something people may not know. You know, I feel like you think like, oh, they leave and then you're gone, but no, we came back and we saw actually a lot of like guests who were still there at the wedding, who were just like still hanging out and talking. But anyways, okay, last thing, I'm gonna talk about things that went wrong at the wedding. When I say wrong, nothing went wrong. Like, it was the most perfect day. If we could go back and do it again, wouldn't change anything. My mom, I give all credit to my mother. She planned the whole wedding. This girl should be a wedding planner, but she isn't. She should be an everything planner, but she isn't. So she's my planner. And so I knew nothing was like good. I mean, I knew everything was just gonna be amazing, and so I wouldn't change anything. But these are like minor things that I put together that I just thought were funny, that still obviously wouldn't change. No one would know about them, obviously, and so nothing really went wrong. I just wanted to share. So one thing that y'all may not know is at the ceremony, like I said, since it was a hot day and we had flowers, there were bees everywhere. So we walked down the aisle, we're there, and I hear all of my bridesmaids talking behind me. I'm like, why are they talking? I'm about to like turn around and be like, guys, this is not the time. But then I realized there are bees, like all you hear in your zzz, and it's like they're all around, and I don't really know if everyone could see. I couldn't even see them in our wedding video, so it wasn't terrible, and they were like bumblebees, so it wasn't like, oh my gosh, we're getting stung and stuff. But oh, Taylor's back. Honey, I'm filming a YouTube video.
Oh shoot.
But anyway, so bees were flying literally everywhere. I had a little flower girl, and she was so brave. Like, if I were her age, I would have ran out of there. What are you doing? I'm talking about the bees at the wedding.
Oh, those things are bad. What would have for lunch though?
And so anyways, it ended up being fine, but that's just something that I feel like no one would know that was actually hilarious. And all I heard was just the bridesmaids, like my sister, and they were like, oh my gosh, they were freaking out. I was trying to remain calm. I didn't move, but that was just funny. Something that I think we have shared maybe a little bit, Taylor ripped my dress at the entrance of the reception. We practiced, y'all, a million times at home. We were gonna enter, he was gonna spin me and dip me, and then we were gonna come back up. He dipped me, he stepped on my dress, and I came back up, and it just went, and it didn't rip. It was like my bustle was attached. You know, I had picked my dress up and bustled it to the back. He just ripped the bustle off. And so it wasn't all like cute and bustled, and I was flustered, and the music for our first dance started, and I was like, oh shoot, like I don't have time to bustle it. I was a nervous wreck at that point. And then Taylor talks about how awkward our first dance was because I was all like flustered because everyone's like watching. It was just awkward to me, the first dance. I hate to say it, but it was sweet. It was sweet. But me and Taylor, like there was nothing that could have made it not awkward. Like it was just me. I just felt like I just don't like people watching me. You know, I already knew I wasn't gonna like it, but you gotta do what you gotta do. It was sweet. It was our first dance. Love it. Taylor got blood all over his white shirt right before the ceremony started. I didn't know this until he told me later that night, but right before the ceremony started, y'all, I think his finger got cut and he got blood all over his white shirt. We had no extras. Somehow our wedding coordinator got it out. Wasn't even a trace of anything, and it was perfectly fine. So that was just a random thing that you may not have known. My veil almost fell out of my hair when I walked back from the ceremony. I think there's a picture of me maybe like touching it. My sister, she was so sweet. She like put her foot on my veil during the ceremony so it wouldn't like fly away. And then when we went to leave, like, you know, she did all the right things. She handed me my bouquet, and then we went to walk and she forgot to take her foot off. And so I walked and I was like, oh, and I like jerked my head back a little bit. But it was totally fine. So like I said, that wasn't really anything. I just thought it was funny. Another thing is that I got my period on the wedding day. I was walking down the aisle and I was like, there that thing is. When we were leaving the ceremony, I had to run straight to the bathroom. Taylor was like, let's go in the other room and like have a moment. And I was like, honey, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. It actually had started earlier that day, but I had it under control. But then we were walking down the aisle from the ceremony and I was like, yep, she's back and she's strong. So let me run to the bathroom. And like guests were coming into the bathroom and I was like in there in my wedding dress, like trying to go to the bathroom. It was crazy, but that was funny. Okay, last thing-ish. I almost walked down the aisle without my bouquet. And when I say almost, y'all, there was no one else left to walk besides me and my dad. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And I'm like, oh, don't have my bouquet in my hand. It would have been fine. Like I said, these are such silly things, but I was like, oh my gosh. But two of the girls who worked there, I was like, guys, I don't have my bouquet. And they ran. We didn't even know where it was. Like there wasn't even a spot where I was like, oh, it's right there. But all the girls, all the bridesmaids' bouquets were up by the front door. And so they ran over there and it was like taking a second. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, all right, we're just gonna have to start going, Dad. And like, I think I'm taking steps as she's running me my bouquet. And so then I got it and we were good. Anyways, I'm sure there's like some more things that I could share, but those were just like a bunch that I wanted to let you guys know, fill you guys in on. Nothing went wrong. Like I say, things went wrong, but nothing went wrong. It was literally the most perfect day. Taylor talks about it still. Best day of his life. Best day of my life. I thought it was literally beautiful. My dream wedding, everything. I just love how everything turned out. Those were just silly things that like none of you would know, and some people who even were at our wedding didn't know except for us. And so I just thought it would be fun to share, and I hope you guys liked this video. If you have any other questions or any other things that you're interested in, comment about it. Follow me on Instagram because I'll go like put links to all these things on my Instagram because I don't want to put it on this video. So go follow me on Instagram. I'll put some links to some of these things if I can find them. And yeah, comment if you have any other questions, and we love you guys.